Now, back in 2006, 2007, 2008, around that time, I was a promoter in the city of Long Beach. And as a promoter back in the day, I booked this dude a few times. And every time I booked him, he always came through with a big crowd. He was always very professional. He always gave a good show. And as a promoter who's dealt with a lot of unprofessionalism, I appreciate that. And I remember it till this day. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, Kiki Smooth, the first Mexican rapper out of Compton. What up, dude?
What up, family? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Appreciate you joining the program, dude. I want to go way back, man. I want to get to know Kiki Smooth all the way. So let's take it all the way back, man. Tell everybody where you grew up.
I grew up in Compton, California. My mom, I am first generation of from my family. So my mom and my grandma and my aunties went from Mexico, Guerrero, Mexico, to Compton, California. So I was brought up in the home of gangster rap. You know what I mean? Growing up in the city of Compton in the 80s and 90s was an educational street. That's but also imagine seeing Eazy-E with BG Knockout rolling by Compton High. I'm a fucking, teenager, and everybody's running to the gate. So I run to the gate. I'm thinking it's a fight, but that's just giving me the chills thinking about this shit. And it was Eazy-E and BG Knockout. I tell Knockout every time I'm with him, I tell him about that story. It changed my life, and then going to the Compton swap meet and seeing DJ Quick and Second to None there, my mom worked at Louis Burgers. So if you're from Compton, California,
Rosecrans,
no, she worked at the original one on Alameda. Her and my aunties were some of the first employees at Louis Burgers. My auntie and my uncle met each other at Louis Burgers. So some of my cousins are actually real Louis Burger babies.
I love that shit.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and when my mom, without knowing who the fuck these guys were, it was most infamous group out of Compton, California, will always go to Louis Burgers. Without my mom knowing who these men were, my mom would serve these men. And I'm talking about Arabian Prince, DJ Yella, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren would go to Louis Burgers, and years later, my mom starts seeing these guys on TV, and she's like, "Hey, I know those guys. They're always at Louis Burgers buying food."
Damn.
So growing up in the city of Compton in those eras, in that era, what they call the golden era, was amazing for me. At the age of 14. After hearing Get Funky Enough by
DOC.
The DOC, I decided to become a DJ. And that's where while I was tagging, and tagging in Compton, it's not like, everyone knows. Tagging in the 90s was as close as you could get to, walking at the edge of gang banging.
Yep.
Because tagging went from tag bang. It went from graffiti, hip hop to tag banging. In the 92, everything changed. Everything. Right when you thought you were, doing something good, you were actually fighting for your life. Right when you thought you were expressing yourself, you had to fight for your life to express yourself. It became a way to just do fuck up shit. And the year I graduated, in class of 94. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're good because your story is so good. I want to go slow. I want to go real slow, and I want to talk specifically about the tag banging part, because I myself was a tagger, and as soon as they started adding 13 and carrying straps, I was out. I just saw that coming a mile away. But I had the homie Ouch on my show not too long ago, tagger from back in the day, graffiti artist and all that.
Yeah.
And one of the crews that came up, and it's an infamous crew, and it's one of the first ones that I ever remember as a tagger, and it was KCC. And in my
Yeah, I'm
research
from
of you,
KCC.
I saw you have a song KCC and King's
Yeah.
Coachella. When I was younger, I remember it being King's Control in Compton. I think it was that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then it changed into they just the tag banging thing came in. But
It's a barrio. Yeah.
yeah. Talk to us, man, about the early days and your time experience with KCC and your whole tag banging, kind of that period of time.
Well, let's rewind. Me and my brother would walk to junior high school through these alleys, and everywhere we walk, we will see these pieces and these throw-ups. And for people that don't know pieces, it's a drawing. It's a real fucking artwork on a fucking wall. All right? It's not this little scribble scrabble. It's real art, and by this guy by the name of Skull, rest in peace. He is the founder of KCC.
Yeah.
So KCC started in the early 80s. Devo told me it was like 82. So at that time, me and my brother are just some fucking little kids walking to school, and we're mesmerized by these alleys. So we lived on Mona and 127th. My brother's godfather lived on Mona and 136. So sometimes, being from a poor family, your mom would be like, go to your Nino's house. He's going to give you some eggs and some milk. So we would walk these alleys, and every day we would see these markings and these beautiful drawings that my little brother, Dale, he gravitated first. He gravitated to tagging first. And those pieces created me and my brother as a tagger. I wasn't from KCC right away. Me and my brother were from a crew called Compton DMK. We were more towards downtown Compton. So being poor, we ended up getting kicked out of that house. We had to move out. So we moved with our grandma on Rosecrans and Alameda on Willow Street. So that was the starting point of me and my brother breaking out of our shell, wanting to do something towards hip hop. So me and my brother started dancing. You feel me? We were breakers, and breaking turned into tagging. And at that time, we weren't cool enough to be from KCC. You feel me? Because KCC is like the Lakers.
They were royalty.
Ruthless Records.
They were royalty.
Yeah, and they still are. They still are royalty.
Can't hate.
And my best friend, rest in peace, Crack, rest in peace, and the Galarza brothers lived one block away from us, and they were starting a tagging crew called DMK, Doing Much Chaos. We were the guys that we couldn't get into KCC because we weren't up. We couldn't get into CLK, that's another big ass crew out of Compton, because we weren't up. So all the guys.
For anybody who doesn't know, by up you mean is getting your name up as much as you can on the walls, anywhere, anywhere.
And you're talking about the prime of tagging. You know what I mean? So we're talking about raves, ditching parties, and tagging, baggy clothes, and techno. See, a lot of people don't know that this was the environment that taggers had.
Hauser shirts.
Yeah, steel toe boots. We were out groovy. It was not a gangbanging shit first, So everybody at Compton High that wasn't known and wasn't up as the top crews pretty much ended up breaking into two crews, and that was KAK and DMK. I wasn't part of KAK because I didn't live on that side of the bridge. So Rosecrans, before that bridge, it was just Alameda that separated Rosecrans from a Blood neighborhood and a Crip neighborhood. See, so I lived in the Crip neighborhood. There was no way I was going to do some KK, because the KKs lived in the Blood neighborhood. So we gravitated towards the guys that lived on our side. So when we started tagging, we ended up beefing with the KAK. You know, it was just weird. It was just this, I'm upper than you. And we were like, hell no, you're not upper than us. So I started learning the art of graffiti while my brother was already advancing to the art of doing throw-ups and pieces. You know, my brother was really, really heavy into art. Shout out to my little brother, Dale. That's, you know, my little big brother. He's a big-ass motherfucker. Anyways, it got to the point where we started fighting each other. And then it got into a little bit of gun violence, you know? So we started tagging with guns in our pockets. And then around 93, things started changing. And, you know, it got really, really violent where people like KCC, OFA, STK, you know, all the big-ass crews, they were going to jail, and, you know, the gang members were like, what the fuck? What are you guys? You know, so the Mexican mafia actually put a green light on all taggers. Mm-hmm. And that changed everything. So I lived on Willow Street, and Willow Street is an actual gang, you know? So my mom was the coke lady at that time. And my mom was not no stupid lady.
As in cocaine?
She pulled me and my brother.
Obviously, yeah.
As in cocaine.
And sure she don't sell soda pops, y'all.
Yeah, she would sell to these people, right? You know, to the older head. And she's like, I'm not stupid, guys. I want to have a serious talk with you guys, and I want to let you know that I know what you're doing. And it's not okay with me for one reason. If you jump in these niggas' gang, they're going to want me to give them a discount, and I ain't going to do that. Mm. So if you fear an ass kicking from them, you should really fear an ass kicking from me.
Oh, damn. That's a way to keep you out of a gang. Shit.
But I told my mom, who these motherfuckers? We used to beat them up in school anyways. You feel me? Our crew, we got called this Madre crowd after the green light because we were the tagging crew. There was a few of them, like KCC, that told the gang, no, we're not going to join your gang. We're going to make our own gang. You know what I mean? And we didn't know what we were asking for at that time. Honestly, we were a bunch of teenagers. We didn't understand what being a gang was at that time because we were a crew. So we thought we had it figured out. But being in a gang is like being in the military. You got to be ready to die.
Yeah.
You know? Or to go to jail for the rest of your life. And you know what's crazy? I was talking to my coworker today about those years. And all I remember is the good times that I had with all my friends. And then once you start thinking about the good times, you think about all the fucked up things that happened. Because the green light was forced. It was either you become a gang or you join a gang. You had no ins and buts. You could not be a tagger anymore. You know, there was a few cats that slide through the cracks that still kept piecing, but in South Central LA, Long Beach, in those type of situations, there was no turning back. So I was there when the Willow Streets came to me. My friend Oscar, his brother, crack rest in peace, my homie Sipes. We were all chilling, drinking a 40 ounce, sharing a 40 ounce out of all things. You know, it was not like we had money to buy a 40 ounce for each. So here comes this big ass nigga that you know, in the neighborhood, the movie Friday where there's a Debo.
Yep.
Well, there's pretty much a Debo in every fucking city, in every block. Well, the guy that looked like him, his name was Oso, so that should already tell you that's there. You know? And here he comes with two motherfuckers that I already know. I've fought with them. I've handled my shit with them, you know, over bullshit. You know, in the 90s, if something's popping off, you got to handle it right there and then. That's what my mom taught us. So I had a few fights with people, you know, trying to punk me or my brother. I never I didn't allow that. Me and my brother never allowed that. You know, so it comes these two cats that we were like, whatever, what the fuck they want, right? Also tells us that we have to join Willow Street and pretty much a click. So this is what they told us. We're going to court in Crack and Kiki, and then Crack and Kiki are going to court all of y'all in. I'm looking at my big homie Crack, rest in peace, and I'm like, I ain't joining Willow. I even told him I kick my ass up and down every day. I ain't joining Willow. And I lived on Willow Street. You know what I mean? Yeah. I lived on Willow Street where the gang is actually located. But only person I kept thinking about in my head was my mom.
Yeah.
You know? So my homie Crack, rest in peace, kind of like gave him also a smirk, like, please. And I've never seen my homeboy, rest in peace, man, Raul, cocked back that fist and laid out the biggest dude on the block.
Damn.
So that gave all the rest of us the energy to jump all three of them. We beat the living shit out of them and told them fools, y'all can't come on our block. So Willow Street was one block, but we hung out on the next block. That was Spring Block. See, the thing was with us, we were probably like 30, 40 deep, and half of our tagging crew was black kids. We were one of the crews that were mixed half and half, right? So after we beat these kids up, next day we got to go back to school. So we were beefing with the crew called K&K. So here we go. We're walking to school. We see them at the Compton courthouse. But this time, they're not yelling K&K at us. They're yelling tortilla flat.
Oh, shit.
So we're like, what the fuck? I ain't from the flats. So we beat these motherfuckers up. Us with some black kids that are our homies. So we beat them up on the way out of school. Everybody's trying to get us. The Willow Streets are trying to get us. The flats are trying to get us. So the black kids that are in our tagging crew, their older brothers are Crips. And they, you know, everyone's into street politics. So they found out that all these taggers are being courted into these Mexican gangs. And they were not going to have these black kids jump into a Mexican gang. So they all got courted into Santana Block Crips. But that didn't mean that they stopped being our friends. You feel me? So next you know, we're being called Mayateros, black lovers.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck y'all, man, these are my niggas. What y'all talking about? These are our brothers. So we over here beating up the flats and all this stuff, and next you know, we're pretty much a fucking clique without even wanting to, because we were trying to really protect ourselves. We weren't trying to be a gang. So after all this destruction, I ended up losing, 10 of my best friends, bro, that, you know, to this day, every time I pass through there, I remember the good times I had with my brothers, you know, and I learned so much from them, and they always pushed me towards hip hop. They knew I had talent DJing. All my homies, I used to go DJ at house parties. They all rolled with me with the straps. It became this thing where, you know, backpack full of cans and a full match, that shit was real. You know, and tag banging became like this thing where you would go to jail and you would see niggas from KCC and you would see people from my clique, and we would all always be together. You know? I let go of tagging because I lost my best friend, and that's Crack, rest in peace. You know, the guy that saved us from being from a gang. You know, if he would have never knocked out also, I would have been from Willow Street.
That's crazy, bro.
You know what I mean? So me losing him made me feel, I don't want to be a part of this shit no more. You know? Bam, I hit senior year, graduated, fucking finally got out of there. That summer I went to jail, shooting that motherfucking at the ops. Went to jail. They didn't catch me with the gun. I had to do some time. My brother went and did some time. He did fucking 7 years of his life. I got lucky. I did a year of my life in county jail, and I promised everyone that I was going to turn my life around. I fucking went and got a job at Church's Chicken and bought my first turntables and mixer.
Yeah.
And I turned my life around. I started to fucking really take DJing to the next level, you know, to get myself out of that tag banging, because people don't understand those late 90s, man, it was fucked up. It was fucked up everywhere, bro. You know, it was. I mean, we were on the news. You would see all this shit. We were on the actual news, bro.
Of course. Compton was a
my crew was
KCC was all on the news back in the day, homie.
So I joined KCC after 4 years ago.
Okay.
After finding out that one of my members from my neighborhood is best friends with the leader of KCC, and tagging had came back in a culture way, I had an opportunity to be from the crew that I always wanted to be part of. You know what I mean? And me and my brother joined KCC on just the respect of them being that ruthless Laker, you know, type of crew. You know, that it was an honor for them to ask me if I wanted to be a part of that crew. You know, and the leader, Devo, called me through my homeboy that happens to be his cousin. Was like, man, you know, we're bringing back tagging. I know you guys are retired. D&K has, you know, we don't want it. You know, the homies didn't want it no more. And for them to ask me to be part of the squad, it was just, it was a no-brainer for both me and my brother. We said, yeah, you know. So shouts to Devo for allowing me to be free again, and that's why I made that song, King's Cold Chillin', you know. But tag banging was a very hard and very dope experience. It was yin and yang. I cannot lie. Yin and yang.
For anyone who isn't aware, Kiki Smooth, me, our generation is the reason that anytime you walk into a Home Depot or you walk into any hardware store, they have the spray cans locked behind the motherfucking gates. Because back in the day, we would run in there, 7, 8 of us, and just get everything and run out. Pilots, markers, scriber, whatever we can get, huh?
It was, if you didn't know how to rack, then you're not up. Plain and simple. They're not going to sell you spray paint.
Yep.
You know,
14
you're 16, 17 years old. Yeah, they're not going to sell you the spray paint. So you got to pretend that you're in there wandering around and then just racking the shit and then running out with that motherfucker. You know, these motherfuckers nowadays, I guess they do it, but in a crazier way because they're over there robbing Gucci bags.
Man.
We never did that.
Nah.
We were incognito when we did shit like that, you know?
Yep. Facts, dude. Well, let's move on, man. If I can have you for about 15, 20 more minutes, I just want to talk a little bit about hip hop. And then once we talk about that, I want to give you a chance to promote anything you have coming up. But, you know, one thing I've noticed, and all due respect, I don't consider you strictly a Chicano rapper, because one thing that I have noticed, you know, while keeping an eye on your career throughout these years is that, you know, you get just as much love from the black audience as you do from the Latinos. Why do you think it is, dog?
Because I am a Chicano representing in hip hop. I am not a Chicano rapper. I'm a Chicano that represents his culture, his people in hip hop. You feel me? And I'm from Compton, California. Who do you think I started rapping with? You know what I'm saying? I started rapping with my niggas, with my black people, with my African American friends that taught me that swag. You know, they taught me cadences, they taught me delivery. And, you know, I had some of the sickest coaches, you know? All right. Let me start off like this. After coming out of prison, going out of jail, I focused on becoming one of the sickest DJs out of Compton. And I ended up getting a job at Underworld Records with Big A.
Shout out Big A.
You know? Big A and Blue Rag accepted.
That's right. Shout out Sin Loco
And,
crew, man.
you know, for me, I pretty much Little Easy and E3 grew up with me. You feel me? I was Little E's first DJ. But I met somebody in there that really kicked my career off, and that's the homie Caviar. Producer, big producer out of Compton that a lot of people fuck with. He introduced me to Coolio through Too High. My homie DJ Too High from Japan lived with me in Compton. We both worked at Underworld Records, and through him we met this guy named Ghost. That's Coolio's nephew. They knew I was a badass DJ. Coolio ended up having a problem with his last DJ, that was DJ Fatbox, rest in peace. I get a call. I'm on the block pushing Chronic. So you motherfuckers that don't know, Chronic was like the Kush back then.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? It was like the Kush back then. And you could sell, and we would sell, $20 grams. You're making real money.
Bucks, yeah.
Yeah. And it's, it's like almost like crack cocaine because people kept coming back. So, so I'm chilling, and here comes my little brother in a skateboard. Kiki. Someone's at the phone named Ghost that said it's an emergency. I used to buy the Chronic from Ghost. I'm thinking, man, what can you probably read up, and I still got a lot. He said it's an emergency. So back in those days, there was no cell phone. So you got to go all the way to the house to call somebody. Feel me? So, I just lived a block away, so I jumped on started footing it back home. I give him a call, and he tells me that Coolio wants me to DJ for him for one show. So I was like, sure. I've never really traveled out of my house, out of Compton. So to me, I was like, what? Yes. I go. He flies me to Texas. Damn. After he found out that I'm from Compton, that I grew up in his neighborhood. I went to school in his neighborhood. Yeah, Mona Park Crips. So after he found that out, I literally got the job just on that.
Nice.
So he would make us freestyle before the show to calm his nerves down. And I'm like, yo, Coolio, I'm a DJ. I'm not really a rapper, bro. He's like, nah. You're going to learn. We all going freestyle. Even the road manager and the bodyguard had a freestyle. And I ended up touring with Coolio for 5 years. So those 5 years,
I didn't know that.
was really like rap training and learning how to be a superstar performer. So imagine I toured with this man, watching him perform in mega arenas.
Because he was a performer, dog. He was a pop star.
He was not just a rapper. He was a pop star, dog. Nah. This man will pull up in a 6'4", get out, and they will open the trunk, and a lot of bitches will come out. Then Coolio will come out. We had real shows, bro. It was not no, a rapper up there holding his balls. Yeah. Nah, man. We were one of the greatest entertainers, bro. And I learned how to entertain because I was Coolio's DJ.
That makes a lot of sense.
When you see me up there, I'm really imitating Coolio.
Yeah.
I'm literally being Coolio and Ghost because those were the guys that I would see. And this is Coolio already after Gangsta's Paradise. So they were putting us up with Mystico, P.D. Pablo, all these people that were popping.
Damn.
And we had to outdo these people.
Yeah.
The next day, it will always be us on the paper. Coolio's back with it, you know what I mean? Because of the performances we were giving. So when I decided to start rapping, Coolio went to my first ever fucking show. And he told me, you got it. You got it, bro. You figured it out. Good luck. I will never forget what he told me. He said, good luck, because it's a long road. I told him, I'm willing to take it. Gigs were getting slow, so I wanted to do something different. I wanted to become an MC. And I started practicing on my craft. And the people that craft me was my black friends. That's why my swag doesn't sound Chicano. you know, and all these years of rapping in English, you know, I got my respect from my black people, but I was never getting the respect from my Mexicanos because I wasn't black enough to be black. I didn't sound black enough to be black, and I didn't sound enough Mexican to be Chicano.
Facts. You sound like a dude from the hood. I wouldn't know what you are if I didn't know you.
Yeah, and you know, the Chicanos were not having that. They couldn't understand why I sounded like that. And then, you know, like I tell people, I don't really represent the Chicano movement because I'm from Compton. I'm not from East Slopes. Does that make sense to you? Because I'm Mexican. I'm not Chicano. I'm Mexicano. I'm not Chicano. Because I'm not part of that culture. I'm not from no value. So I can't be that. I'm full-blooded Mexican. And I think being Chicano takes away from the pride of Mexican. You know? So by us putting ourselves in this bubble of Chicano rap, I can't be those, but I will represent y'all in hip hop. You know?
That's deep.
So I couldn't cross the bridge nowhere. I was stuck. Until one of my friends had the most brilliant idea. First, I did something that no one can ever believe. I went to a signing and I made DJ yell at my DJ. I wrote Kid Frost's last album, and none of that shit was working, bro. None of that shit. I'm putting out music, I'm writing for the motherfuckers, and none of this shit is hitting. What the fuck? My friend, my brother, Mal Hablado, he's one of the sickest Spanish rappers there is in LA. From Norwalk, California, hits me up and tells me, I got an idea. And I was like, what? I wrote you a song called Somos de Compton. Now, let's get this straight. I'm an MC. I don't let nobody write for me. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm a songwriter. How the fuck someone's going to write for me? You know? And if he sends me the song, I'll put that motherfucker in the back burner for a whole year. Next thing you know, reality starts hitting. Fucking working at a fucking warehouse now. I'm not touring the world no more. You know? And I'm driving in traffic. And you know how you put your phone on shuffle? Mm-hmm. And you know, you bump in with the aux cable. And that motherfucking song, that song comes out. And it's his voice, you know, putting out the words. And I'm like, let me call. And I told him, man, you really embodied me writing this. He said, because I know you, my nigga. You're my brother. I know you. And I was like, wow, he really knows me. So he introduced me to some guy named Arsenal. Arsenal and Faith were nominated for Grammys and stuff like that. They're big Spanish rappers. Mm-hmm. They were taking interest in my voice too. So they were like, we want to work with you. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, because they knew Mal Hablado, and they were like, I started kicking it with them, and they were like, you should really do that Somos de Compton. So I was like, fuck it. Let me give it a go. I embodied those verses, bro. Where when we listen to his playback track, we laugh because it doesn't sound the way I deliver shit. I created a new swag, but I didn't know how to write in Spanish. So we end up doing a video. We end up doing the song. We shoot the video, and the motherfuckers blows the fuck up. Something that I never had, bro. I would put out songs and videos, and I would never have the numbers like the other guys were. Mm-hmm. You know? Next thing you know, this motherfucker's hitting, and Mal Hablado's like, well, I'm not going to continue writing for you, bro, because you're better than that. I've never wrote a fucking song in Spanish. You feel me? Yeah. But I wasn't going to give up. So I started hanging out with Arsenal and Faith, and they helped me write 2 songs. They helped me write Amigos and Cuerno de Chivo that's out right now on all digital platforms. Those old songs, I literally just released them. I finally got out of my deals. Long story. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I wanted to do a 3rd song with them, and they told me the same thing. Nah, my boy, training wheels are off. Time for you to write in Spanish yourself. But English is my second language. Feel me? Spanish is my first language. I could talk Spanish and write Spanish and fluent, but I never wrote songs, so I came up with some shit that nobody ever thought of. I started recreating my English lyrics. So I would rap it in English and then translate it in Spanish. I started coming up with a swag that they told me that it didn't exist in Spanish rap. Because in Spanish, you wouldn't say rolling shotgun. Because the niggas say that. Right? My niggas say that. But guess what? Kiki Smooth says that shit. Rolando Escopeta. And I started creating a new language for us. So the Compton album started being created. I recently dropped last year the first ever Spanish rap album out of Compton. And it's called Compton. Thanks to those gentlemen pushing me towards it. Then I started to realize when I released that record, that album, that now I am the first Mexican rapper out of Compton. Because all my Chicanos, all my Mexicanos are now listening to me. And not just that. I be getting like tias and tios and uncles and abuelitas loving my music because I got to do something different when I started rapping in Spanish. And everybody was like, nah, don't do it. You remember when in the era like 2-3 years ago when everybody was sampling Little Flutes?
Of course.
Well, I was telling my producer, I don't want to rap on the flute. It's Scottish. How about we sample some Spanish music? So I grew up in a house that cumbias are heavy. So I called my mom and I told her, hey, who's the guy that you used to play that everyone would dance and it's an accordion? So she gave me the name. His name is Anaceto Molina, rest in peace. One of the greatest cumbia composers ever. I ended up convincing my producer to sample this for me. To this day, it's one of my biggest hits. It's called Pa Los Lados. I performed it at a Compton parade with Compton AV and Little Easy.
Nice.
And they witnessed something that I didn't know that it was going to happen. It was the first time I released the song. I decided to release it at the Compton Christmas parade, and I performed it. And I started seeing people that don't usually listen to my music. The hard workers on the bus, on the metro that are working in these factories are paying attention to me now.
Damn.
And they're digging it. They're feeling my music now. So it opened up a lane that I didn't realize was going to happen. And I'm blessed because to this day, I don't stop getting gigs because I'm rapping in Spanish. You know? And for me to call myself the first Mexican rapper out of Compton, knowing that there was already Mexicans, OGs that used to do mixtapes for, and this is real mixtapes, like real cassettes for other gangs. I know there was like 3 Mexican rappers from back in the early 80s, you know? But I call myself the first Mexican rapper out of Compton because of Yella. Yella named me that.
Oh, really?
You know?
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't name myself that. Yella named me that.
Oh, shit.
He takes credit. You know, he wrote it in his book. You know, shout out to my mentor, DJ Yella. Love that man. Like, everything he's always done for me is incredible because he never lets me down. He pumps me up every time I'm with him. We just did a gig together, and we were both DJs. Had the blast time of my life. You know, to be able to DJ with my mentor and DJ Battle Cat was crazy. But we were being interviewed, and he literally told everybody, like, I named him that, and it's true. He named me that. But I didn't feel that I was that guy till I started rapping in Spanish. You know? And now I am that bridge. All my black... I'm going to say this right now. Me and Second and None are about to go do a song, and they're going to rap in Spanish with.
What?
I released I released a record. Shout out KK and D. Look, on that Compton album, I have a song called Peligrosa. And I wrote Eric's verse on there, and I got him spitting in Spanish too. Because I know how to swag out for my black friends. And I know how to use the words in Spanish that they will be able to pronounce right.
Yeah.
You know? So that was easy. When I saw KK and D at the Easy thing, they told me they wanted to get on a song with me and do some Spanish shit. So to me, rapping in Spanish, I became that bridge for my black friends because they know me that well. Because of all the years I was rapping with them. You feel me? So everything that happened to me was supposed to happen to me. All the downfalls were supposed to happen to push me this direction. Now I'm doing festivals where these older ladies are telling me my shit is dope. Not these kids that don't care about music. I'm talking about people that I never thought were going to be listening to me. You know? So to me, I am the first Mexican rapper out of Compton. And I proudly say that. You know?
That's what's up, dude. Hell yeah, man. Dude, Kiki Smooth. It's definitely been a pleasure, man. I'm glad we got a chance to connect. But before we go, I got to give you a chance to promote anything you got coming up. Take as long as you want. You know, any shows, any music, anything, man. The floor is yours.
I have 2 projects out right now. It's Golden Brown project. That's me and my cousin rapping back to backs, like Run DMC style.
Nice.
It's called Golden Brown, and it's the whole album's in Spanish.
Okay.
So you literally gotta know both languages to understand the whole song. And I have also an album out right now called Primo. I just released these projects back to back. Primo's out right now on all digital platforms. And on January 16th, I am dropping my new single called Evolution. I gotta see you at the release party, Dusty. I am gonna be keeping you guys updated. It's one of my greatest creations. I took the corridos that are going on right now and turned it into boom bap. It's the most craziest shit.
Oh, dog.
The most craziest shit. I performed it last Saturday for the first time in front of a gang of fucking essays, and they thought it was going to be a corrido track, and then it just turns into this gangster boom bap, and they loved it. They loved it. I am going to be performing at the Compton Christmas Parade December 23rd with my band. So if you're in the city of Compton, come to the Christmas Parade after party at Wilson Park right there on Alameda and Compton Boulevard. And come check me out. I'm going to be giving out gifts. I'm going to be doing a lot of things in the year to come up. 2024 is full blast, full touring, full everything. So if you want me in your city, just hit us up or just Google the first Mexican rapper out of Compton, and this man will pop up.
My man, Kiki.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Dusty.
you, man.
And you know, everything is Kiki Smooth, or like I said, just Google the first Mexican rapper out of Compton. And if you need a DJ, hit me on the DM. You know, I also do that on the side. Y'all know what it is.
Beautiful. Kiki Smooth, much pleasure once again, and definitely look forward to what you have coming up in 2024. And let's stay in touch, my man.
You too, man. Love you, brother.
Thank you,
man. Thank you. Thank you for putting me on your platform. I appreciate it. Y para toda mi raza, ya saben que cómo me llamo. Me llamo Enrique Vázquez, a.k.a. Kiki Smooth, y aquí estoy para ustedes, para todo lo que les voy a dar. Les voy a dar todo mi corazón. Gracias, y gracias por todo su apoyo.
Peace on.
Damn.
Love it.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Have a good night.
You too, dog.